The Pistons are the basketball champions of the world.
I can remember back when they were playing in the Joe Louis Arena in the Silver Dome, and my uncle would take us down to see the Piston-Lakers games in the regular seasons. I mean, it was cool, man, watching Joe D and Isaiah and Bill and Rick and Dennis and the Microwave, all those guys, man. They really made us proud as a state.
The Pistons repeat, and the Motor City still reigns supreme.
I just think that team had a lot of pride, a lot of pride, and they played with so much confidence. And, those are two of the similarities that I see in our team and their team is, we play with so much pride, man. We play with so much pride and so much confidence.
There is Larry Brown. You know what his goal is here, I'm sure. Give the Pistons a chance to win an NBA title.
None of these guys were anointed. These guys were not billed as these can't-miss superstars who are going to carry teams to championships for years to come. Each and every guy here has something to prove. If you can bring that together like we did this year, it's a powerful force, man.
And the Pistons will tie the club record with 13 wins in a row.
Everybody really pulls for everybody. You can feel that guys are in your corner. When you have that bond and that cohesiveness, it really makes your team that much better. And those are, I think, the things that make special teams. And we have that.
Another team fails to score 70 against the Pistons, an NBA record.
This team is a lot like this city. It's about a hard-working group of guys that respect our game, do everything they can to help their teammates, and ultimately have made a city real proud because of their work ethic.
I think that's why so many people were drawn to this team. They knew this was like a bunch of unselfish guys pulling together, and I think that will be the overriding theme that people will remember about this team.
The Pistons have delivered a third NBA World Championship to the Motor City.
Terrible feeling for a Detroit team that was the #1 seed. They won 50 games for the second year in a row.
For the Detroit Pistons, the 2003 season had come to a bitter end. After reaching the Eastern Conference Finals, they were swept by the New Jersey Nets.
That was probably the sickest feeling I've ever had playing a game of basketball.
After years of frustration, the Pistons realized that a change was needed and that it would have to start at the top.
I knew that we need a coach who's going to be a perfectionist, who's going to be on the guys, who's going to push, but do it with a certain level of humanity.
I think I can make a difference in terms of teaching them how to play and the right way to play. And I'm hopeful that this franchise is going to play at a high level for a long time. That's my challenge.
Larry Brown was now coaching his 7th NBA team, and the Pistons that he inherited possessed a solid core of players, including Chauncey Billups and Richard Hamilton, the team's talented backcourt, and the player who had become the heart and soul of the Pistons, Ben Wallace, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
LeBron James inside for Ilgauskas, blocked by Ben. Ahead to Chauncey, stop and go on Davis, great little reverse.
Ben Wallace is the foundation here. I mean, this house is not built without Ben Wallace.
Eric Snow, left wings to Derek Coleman, baseline drive, Ben blocks the shot.
He's a self-sacrificing player. He will do anything to help his team win.
Wing, popping into a turnover, Ben blocked it again!
To me, great players make other players around them better. Ben Wallace does that every possession. Rip Hamilton is growing into that category. Chauncey Billups is a guy that is starting to come into his own. He's finally found a home.
As Detroit opened training camp, Brown began to assess the other pieces of the puzzle, deciding how they would fit into his vision of a winner. The roster featured a blend of ingredients, including the potential of young Tayshaun Prince, the experience of former 6th Man of the Year Corliss Williamson, and the inside presence of Mehmet Okur. But Detroit had also added savvy veterans like Lindsey Hunter, returning to the place where his career began, plus center Eldon Campbell and explosive forward Darvin Ham.
Duncan Darvin does it again.
You know, Coach Brown drilled us. Hey, this is the way we're going to play, and I don't care what you think, and I don't care what you say. You're going to play this way. It's my way.
We have one goal. He told us first day, if you want to take the championship, we're going to start to do this today.
And yet, for the first 2 months of the season, the Pistons would struggle to hit their stride.
Goes out of bounds, so a flat start for the Pistons.
You bring in a whole different staff. There's a transition period, and unfortunately, you have to have that transition period during the season. And after the first 29 games this year, we were 16-13.
A layup. You don't see many layups on a Larry Brown team.
It was tough, you know, not just for him, but for the players too. So it took us a while, you know, for us to get used to him and him to get used to us.
But gradually, the Pistons began to adapt to Brown's system and became the kind of team he had envisioned.
They're sharing the ball and trusting each other.
Learning the game mentally, you know, going through the rigorous day-to-day practices physically. I can feel myself getting better and better each day as a player. I can see us getting better as a group.
Rip knocked it away. Wallace with a steal. Alley-oop from back.
Sharing the ball and the spotlight, the Pistons were forging a growing sense of chemistry, and soon they would reel off an impressive string of victories.
The Pistons are starting to play the way Larry wants them to play. Rip, no looks, touch feed to Wallace. Skeet is out there, and there's Darko with a steal. And he makes a nice feed to James, to Darvin Ham. How about these Pistons? What a finish! Hamilton and Ginobili. Rip. Back up to Chauncey. Leans. Fire! Bucket! Oh, Chauncey! This is ridiculous! The Detroit Pistons have tied the franchise record with a lucky 13. Tying the record of the championship team of 14 years ago.
But as the calendar turned to February, the red-hot Pistons were suddenly gripped by a midwinter chill. The euphoria of winning had given way to a frustrating losing streak, and it became clear that something was still missing.
Nothing working right now for the Pistons.
The Pistons drop their 6th in a row.
They still don't have that one great player.
Joe Dumars would address the team's glaring need by trading for Rasheed Wallace, a talented player with a turbulent past.
Whatever I can bring to the table to help us make that gallop for that title cup, you know, that's what I'm gonna do.
His credit, he came into here just trying to fit in, and he fit in the first minute he stepped in that locker room.
Welcome, boy, welcome.
The only problem with Rasheed Wallace is maybe he cares too much. And I don't look at that as a negative.
What a play! Rasheed Wallace!
He was the missing piece. He made everybody on the team better.
Getting him solidified us having a title run. I mean, the guy was an all-star. The guy can score inside, outside. The guy's a great defender. And I don't think we didn't even know how good of a defender he was until he got here.
A great block shot by Rasheed Wallace.
I just thought he was a perfect fit. I thought he embodied what we wanted to be here. Here's a guy that wants to win. Here's a guy that's dedicated. He's unselfish. He's a great teammate. I just thought that, you know what, that guy's a Detroit Piston.
Van der Rip, 4-on-1. Alley-oop to Rasheed for a slam.
And after a week or two maybe, Rasheed seemed to be comfortable in this system. And then the Pistons just started to roll.
Rasheed with a steal and the feed. Rip with a stub. Make it 21-9.
Buchanan denied. What a stop that was by Detroit.
Get it out of here.
Nice cut inside by Anderson. Shot rejected by Ben. Saved by Lindsey. Ahead to Rip. Behind him to Ben for the jam.
We went on a 8-game win streak where we held teams below 70 points, I think 5 or 6 of the games. I think that's when people started really believing around here that we have a chance to win this thing.
The Pistons will do it again. They're going to do it again. 5 in a row. An NBA record has been added to this afternoon. Another team fails to score 70.
With Rasheed Wallace making a difference at both ends of the floor, the Pistons won 20 of their last 24 regular season games and would enter the playoffs with a wave of momentum and a newfound swagger.
Well, we have a chip on our shoulder, man. Ever since she came over, it was like everybody said, all right, now they the team to beat now. Before that, nobody gave us a shot to do anything.
There was an undertone in the community that, you know something? The Pistons are serious about making a run at this thing.
Entering the playoffs against Milwaukee, Detroit had reason to feel confident, but too much confidence could be dangerous.
I just think you got to win 4 games, in this series. That's the way you got to look at it. You can't look past any one game. You just got to be ready to play.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the excitement of NBA playoff basketball as we get set for Game 1 of Round 1 between the Pistons and the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Bucks can't stop us. Bucks didn't want to come here. They didn't want to come here. They tried to miss the flight.
And Milwaukee would never get off the ground in Game 1, as Detroit recorded 14 steals, a team playoff record. And after shutting the Bucks down, the Pistons stampeded right past them.
Phillips behind the back. Big Ben. Oh, baby.
The Pistons would cruise to a 26-point victory, and their playoff drive couldn't have gotten off to a better start.
Yeah, felt we played the way we wanted to play. We're going to try to duplicate that, and definitely they're going to make some adjustments, and they're going to play a little harder, and they're going to do some different things, to try to, make the game 2 a little different.
Yet they couldn't have imagined just how different it would be. Not only did Michael Redd burn them with his outside shooting, the Pistons would hurt themselves with a series of costly mistakes. All the good feelings of Game 1 had vanished as Detroit let the home court advantage slip away. And their defeat would serve as a jarring reminder of just how treacherous the postseason could be.
It was just too easy for them. The first game, we won too easily.
And the Milwaukee Bucks have upset the Detroit Pistons. They have tied the series at 1.
And so they relaxed a little bit. Even though we were telling them not to, it was easy to do. It's just human nature.
From that, we learned a lot, knowing that when we win the first game, we can't relax on the second. It was a wake-up call.
Their call had arrived early in the playoffs, and the Pistons would answer it immediately when the series moved to Milwaukee. First, they would take back the home court advantage by capturing Game 3. And then, with a victory in Game 4, Detroit put a stranglehold on the series.
Prince from downtown. The Pistons take a 3-1 lead in this best of 7.
Returning home for Game 5, the Pistons would never allow the Bucks into the contest, closing out the series in resounding fashion. Milwaukee was now behind them, but the memory would remain.
They challenged us, and we responded really well. And I saw us growing up. We took a step forward there.
As Detroit prepared to host New Jersey in the conference semifinals, they were confronted with the painful reminder of how last season ended, a humiliating defeat at the hands of the Nets.
Last year, we were the #1 team in the Eastern Conference going into the playoffs. And, they swept us out. They're the team that really dominated this conference for 2 straight years. And to get to where we are now, you got to go through that.
We're set for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Pistons and the New Jersey Nets.
The Pistons had long been burning for revenge, and as the series began, they wasted no time seizing their chance.
Got swatted by Ben. Memo has it to Rip. Rip up the right side, alley-oop to Tayshaun for one fine jam.
Holding the Nets to just 56 points, Detroit raced off with Game 1.
Left corners to Jefferson, a rainbow 3 way short. Chauncey with a board, forecourt to Tayshaun, flipped it up, back over his head.
You know when it's going your
George, when you can make a shot like that.
And after a slow start in Game 2, the Pistons would roar past New Jersey once again.
Ahead for Rip. Alley-oop and the throwdown from the big Phillips. Chauncey with a drive, lifts it up and in. That's a big-time basket right there.
They were down 12 at the break and outscored the Nets 61-34 in the second half. 2-0 Detroit, heading to New Jersey.
We take it as we still got a long way to get to where we want to get to. You know, we can't relax. We still ain't accomplished nothing. We up 2-0, but they swept us last year. We can't let up at all, you know, because they're gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta be more and more prepared for them to come out and try to bring their A game.
Yet all the words of caution didn't seem to help. The Nets had brought their best game, and the Pistons couldn't match it.
Jefferson getting inside. What a move by Richard Jefferson.
We probably got a little too overconfident in how easy the games were here in Detroit. And so when we went to New Jersey, we may have slacked off a little.
That's 82, the Pistons 64. So the Nets bounce back after the 2 losses.
And so that gave them some energy, and that gave Jason Kidd the freedom to do a lot of other things. Then their crowd got into it. So we found ourselves 2-2.
As the Nets win both games at home, wire to wire over the Detroit Pistons, and have tied the best of 7, 2-2.
Unfortunately, the first 2 games were too easy, and we got a little full of ourselves, and they brought us down to earth pretty quickly.
So now all of a sudden it becomes a 3-game series.
Full house at the Palace. This is the pivotal Game 5.
Though the first 4 games had all been blowouts, this contest would be a tense drama. The Pistons surged to a fourth-quarter lead, but they still weren't able to shake the Nets as the teams battled for control of the series. And as Game 5 entered its final furious moments, New Jersey was coming on strong.
Jason Kidd all the way. What a play by Kidd. Jason Kidd gives the Nets the lead with 1:08 to go.
With New Jersey leading by 3 and just seconds left in the game, only a miracle could bail out the Pistons.
Pistons need a 3, and they have just under 3 seconds to do it. Here's Chauncey Billups. Here it is. He's got it. He's got it. Chauncey Billups hits the 3. Overtime.
I thought that shot would give us the momentum going into overtime. And, you know, it gave us some momentum, but we just had so many guys foul out. You know, we had 4 of our 5 starters foul out, and we just didn't have enough.
In a war of attrition, the Nets survived.
Scalabrine for 3 and a big one. Brian Scalabrine with his 3rd beyond the arc.
New Jersey had prevailed in a triple overtime classic, and for the Pistons, it was hard to imagine a more bitter defeat.
There's maybe only one other Game 5 that was as disappointing as that one to me in my entire life, and that was Isaiah with the pass that Bird stole in Boston. That was a Game 5 as well. Those 2 games were as demoralizing as I've ever been about some games. The next day when I came in, though, I said to Larry and the staff, I said, you know, this could be a defining moment for this team, because either we're going to fold tent and continue to say we're contenders, or we're going to bounce back from this and move on to new heights.
But when Game 6 began, it was the Nets who were soaring. Leading 13-2, they seemed ready to send Detroit home for the summer.
You said moments ago, just the kind of start the Pistons could not hold on to.
New Jersey is a front-running team. They're on an 11-0 run, and they are out and pushing.
It wasn't unexpected that New Jersey would come out with a lot of emotion and a lot of hype, and the guy who was sitting behind me and saying N-E-T-S, that guy was going to be up screaming and stuff, okay? I knew that was going to happen. It was how we were going to respond to that.
We got to get into something, guys. We're acting, hey, we don't need to take a bad shot. Our big guys can't be standing out here. We got to get down there and get a rebound. We're still in the game. We got to get a stop.
On the brink of elimination, the time had come for the Pistons to make their stand. They had withstood the Nets' early onslaught, and now, drawing strength from their defense, they were starting to claw their way back.
In the locker room, we said before the game, it wasn't about winning or losing. You know, for us, it was about going out and compete. We got to go out and play these guys. We got to fight these guys, and then we'll live with the outcome.
Quickly gaining ground on the Nets, the Pistons would take the lead by halftime, and they refused to relinquish it, even as the game was coming down to its crucial stretch.
Dishes to Rasheed. Turn and got. Rattled it in.
And in the game's final seconds, Richard Hamilton sealed the Nets' fate.
Hamilton, the kid bumping out. Richard Hamilton with a big-time shot.
Winning when few thought they could, the Pistons had begun to reveal their true character.
At the buzzer, and the Detroit Pistons facing elimination on the road. They win tonight.
I think a lot of teams would have packed it in after that tough loss at home in triple overtime, but you know, I was real proud of them, and I told them that. And right then and there, I knew this was becoming a special group.
Returning home for Game 7, the Pistons had come too far to let the series escape from their grasp, and the outcome would never be in doubt.
To have a Game 7 in our building, give that crowd a little something to cheer about. You know, we felt that energy in the building, and you know, we just continue to make plays, we continue to get stops, we continue to hit shots, you know, full on, and pretty much a wrap.
And Wallace ingested that rebound. It looked like the trunk of an elephant. Mike James. Oh, Wallace on the finish. The Detroit Pistons will win Game 7. They'll be a new champion in the Eastern Conference of the NBA, and Detroit, your Pistons are going back to the conference finals.
Heading to Indiana for the conference finals, Detroit would face its former coach, Rick Carlisle, who had taken the Pacers to new heights.
They led the league in wins, and you know, we realized how talented they were.
They run all our plays, we run all their plays. It wasn't about X's and O's, it was just about who wanted most.
In Game 1, Detroit battled its way to the lead and carried it into the final minutes. But while the Pacers were on the ropes, they had the one player who could deliver a knockout.
This is what we want. Keep playing. We're jabbing, jabbing, jabbing. The overhand right is coming.
He got around a pick. Here's the three. Reggie Miller. The Pacers at home win Game 1.
And we sort of figured they had stole one from us. Felt like we had let one slip away.
Determined to bolster the Pistons' confidence, Rasheed Wallace issued a bold proclamation prior to Game 2.
Y'all put it in the front page, back page, middle of the page, wherever. Headliners, column 1 or 2, we will win Game 2.
You got backing off?
We will win Game 2.
Everyone probably thought that, but no one had enough in them to say it. And so he was able, I believe he was able to say what everyone was thinking.
Wallace's words only fueled the intensity of Game 2, which featured 26 blocked shots, 19 by Detroit.
You know, it wasn't the, quote, beautiful style of basketball they play out west.
O'Neal sends that one back.
It was more of a smash mouth football game, if you want to say.
That was a man block.
That was a war, man. That was an unbelievable defensive slugfest.
Detroit found just enough offense to build a slim lead late in the contest. But just like in Game 1, they would face another Pacer rally and the prospect of another demoralizing defeat.
We felt momentum slipping in that game.
I was like, there's another game about to be tied up, man. This could be trouble.
And once again, it was Reggie Miller who would take center stage in the game's decisive play as the Pistons tried to hang on in the closing seconds.
4 on the shot clock. I don't know if Phillips knows that. It's stolen by Indiana. Ahead to Miller in the run out. And it's blocked again. Oh.
What a block. Tayshaun Prince.
How did Prince get there?
I mean, he was literally at half court, and Reggie was at the top of the key.
I didn't think there was any way possible for him to get this shot.
We go out there, we try to get after you for 48 minutes. And, you know, that play at the end of the game was that last minute.
I'll tell you what, his entire body for this play.
Tayshaun's play against Reggie in Game 2 certainly symbolizes who we are.
Dumars had shaped these Pistons in the mold of the championship teams he played on. They too had built their success on a foundation of defense.
You're not going to win it offensively. You've got to get to work everybody defensive. That's what I'm looking at. I got to have the defense.
Blue collar, defensive, just kind of in your face, 48 minutes. We're going to win, and you're going to have to accept that, or else.
Now look at the triple team as Sally and Rodman collapsed on Jordan.
These guys have that same blue collar, in your face mentality that we had.
And like their predecessors, the new Pistons had a potent backcourt, Chauncey Billups and Richard Hamilton.
2-on-1 to Rip for the jam!
And now Hamilton began to put his stamp on the series, giving Detroit the scoring they desperately needed.
Hamilton again. Oh, what a give to Hamilton.
What a goal. He's always on the go, always on the move. I call him Reggie Miller Y2K.
Rip had patterned his non-stop style after Reggie, and on the fast track of the conference finals, Detroit's new model was setting the pace.
I don't mind holding. If I can hold, he can hold. I'm not big to him. I'll be talking to both of you all night long because I'm trying to prevent things before they happen. But he and I are the same players, you know? A lot younger, man.
Rip, I think, realized that this was an opportunity to show the nation and the world that it was a changing of the guard.
With the series tied, Rip led Detroit to 2 wins in the next 3 games, scoring 33 points in Game 5.
In that Indiana series, we jumped on Rip's back. He was our go-to guy that series.
And he had carried the Pistons to within 1 game of the finals.
Rip it and read it tomorrow in the paper. And the Pistons have a 3-2 edge as of right now.
Getting out of here, man. Hopefully we ain't got to come back here, go home, handle our business, and see y'all in Detroit.
The Pistons looked to ride their momentum back to the comfort of home. But at the start of Game 6, the Palace turned uncomfortably quiet as the Pacers quickly took command.
Indiana with a 13-point lead.
The Pistons were in need of a spark, but their offense had turned ice cold.
And the Pistons have gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal.
We couldn't hit the side of the basket, let alone hit a basket.
Look, we've had every great shot. We missed free throws. They've made shots. We can't expect everything good to happen, but our defense can't suffer.
As always, the Pistons' ferocious defense was doing its part. All they needed now was for the offense to give them a chance.
We knew if we would somehow be able to get the lead down the stretch, that it'd be hard for them to overcome.
Chauncey Billups can try to tie it. Does!
Outside jumper won't go. Tip dunk machine Wallace.
Oh, boy. A deafening crowd of over 22,000 at the Palace. They can sense it. Tayshaun Prince got it! And for the first time in 14 years, the Pistons go to the NBA Finals. They're the 2004 Eastern Conference champions.
And every time you go to that board and cross one out, you're that much closer. It just gives you a great feeling to know that you're having an opportunity to go out and live out a childhood dream.
In the Western Conference, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal continued to cast their shadow over the rest of the league. The powerful Lakers seemed larger than life.
The more you whine, the more bigger I get. And the more bigger I get strong. And the more stronger I get, nobody can stop me.
And stopping Los Angeles had become a more imposing challenge than ever. Along with a star-studded cast and championship experience, they even appeared to have destiny on their side in the playoffs.
They get it to Fisher. He scores! Derek Fisher scores at the buzzer!
After Fisher's amazing shot and a conference finals victory over Minnesota, an NBA title seemed inevitable.
For the 4th time over the last 5 seasons, the Lakers try to claim another world title.
And we find ourselves back to where we want to be, and that's having a chance to win a 4th title. And, now we just have to go get it.
Good evening,
everybody, and welcome to the excitement of the NBA Finals, Game 1.
You know, it's a dream come true. And you're just trying to cherish it, take totally advantage of it.
This is it right here, you know. First team to 4 win, and you get nothing but second place.
Los Angeles is an overwhelming, prohibitive favorite to win this series. Most think 4 or 5 games. Few selected it'll go 6 or the distance to 7, but that's why they play the games.
Well, people been underestimating us all year, but it ain't nothing that we ain't used to. So, you know, regardless of what people say, once that ball was thrown up, it's us against you. Mono against mono.
We knew that we'd be major underdogs, and you playing against a team like the Lakers with the personnel that they have and the coaching staff that they have, they're just trying to gain some respect.
All in. 1, 2, 3, let's!
Time for some action, baby. This is what it is right here.
We turn the TV on, we pick up a newspaper, 8-1 underdogs, David Goliath, they can't win. And we were just sitting there saying, you have got to be kidding me. These people are out of their mind.
And as the finals began, Detroit wasted no time showing the doubters that they belonged.
Rasheed Wallace opens with the 3-ball. Keldon Campbell offensive rebound was hit in the face, got it back. Billups open 3, drains it.
See, if there's an X factor in this series, I think it's Chauncey Billups.
And Detroit's floor leader would set the tone for his team's fearless approach, taking it right at the heart of the Laker defense.
Billups off a screen, drives, wraparounds, good.
Billups has been terrific.
Too many fouls, too many turnovers for first quarter, okay? So you know what you have to do now.
Kobe and Shaq had seen the Lakers through many finals battles, and it didn't take long for LA's 1-2 punch to have the Pistons reeling.
Slam dunk by Shaq on the entry from Rick Fox. Kobe probing, getting the pick from Shaq. Now weaves his way down the middle underneath, lays it up and in.
You can feel the Lakers starting to get into this game.
Hamilton has to make a beautiful effort to catch it, but he turns it over, threw it deep. It'll be easy for Kobe Bryant. Lakers lead it on the one-handed slam.
With the Lakers gathering steam, Larry Brown knew it was time to steady his Pistons in their first appearance on the game's biggest stage.
We got to get it in scoring area. We don't have to rush in anything. We just got to calm down and play.
The Pistons were facing their first finals test, and they would provide an emphatic answer.
Tayshaun goes in for the left-handed slam.
You can sense the Pistons getting more confident as this game goes on.
Ahead to rip deep to Corliss for the dunk.
They thought we was a joke. They really didn't take us serious. And so now we had to let them know we're not going to back down from no one. We're going to go out there, we're going to fight, and we're going to show them that we didn't just come here to show up.
Folks, get thee to a television set. Game 1 looks like it's going to be a great one.
And we got to defend. Make them shoot a jump shot with a hand up. That's all we're conscious of doing.
By the fourth quarter, the Pistons had shown they were here to stay. And now they were ready to give the Lakers a first-hand demonstration of the league's toughest defense.
Down the lane, flips it up, blocked by Ben.
5 on the shot. Here comes O'Neal. Left block, jump, turnaround, air ball.
Your offense is failing you because you're not moving the ball.
I don't think they knew this was coming. As far as our defense, they didn't have a clue. We definitely made a statement.
Kobe lean in shot, blocked by Ben.
There's that Detroit D all over the Lakers here tonight.
Ahead to Rip to the rim and jam.
And the Lakers, folks, are in deep, deep trouble here in Los Angeles.
We got to win 3 minutes. Come on, hey, we got to win 3 minutes. Come on, baby. Right?
Over to the left side is Payton, and Campbell blocks Payton's driving layup. Now Chauncey Billups looking for a fast break opportunity, drives past Kobe for the left-handed layup.
And now the man who had started it all, Chauncey Billups, would finish off the Lakers to complete a stunning Game 1.
Billups, open shot, knocked it down. What a huge jump shot by Chauncey Billups.
Mr. Big Shot has turned out the lights on the Lakers.
A phenomenal achievement for Detroit here tonight.
Get out of here. Go celebrate.
Let's go, Blue.
We ain't did nothing yet.
We're a team that, you know, we never scared. You know, we're going to go out there and play and have each other's back, and that's what we did tonight.
It puts a lot of pressure on us for next game. This is the type of team that they come out, they play aggressive defense, they play well,
They just wanted it a little bit more than we wanted it tonight.
Coach, you've been here before. The last trip to the finals with that opening game victory on the road. It's a long memory.
No, it was a good memory. A lot of my players called me from Philly, kind of reminded me of what went on after we won Game 1. I got on the back of the bus after this Game 1 and told them, you know, we had won a tough Game 1, and then kind of felt pretty proud of ourselves. And then, lo and behold, Phil got them ready. They won 4 straight. And they all looked at me and said, we're not the same team. I said, well, that's not what I'm worried about. You got the same coach.
For Larry Brown and the Pistons, there was little time to savor the feeling of Game 1. Brown would put his team right back to work at practice, the place where his influence has always been most strongly felt.
He really wants guys to play the right way. And that you'll hear him saying that all the time. Play the right way, you know, be unselfish, be a good teammate. And it never meant more and rang truer than with this team.
Hey, Josh, as soon as you hit, he's going back door and we'll sprint. Come on, let's go.
We've had games this year where we won by 20, 25 points. And he's hammering home so hard right after the game in the locker room about 4 or 5 plays that we didn't execute perfectly on. And I thought that set the tone throughout the entire year.
Hey, you don't have that. You got Ben, and Ben, you got shot, we just play. Right next to you, first shot. Come on, Mike.
You know, one thing that I figured out about him, he wants to make me the best player that I can possibly become. Anything else doesn't matter to him. He don't care about nothing else but winning and teaching.
Hey, we got Rip. You didn't have it. You're just probably diving. All right? And then we got Ben getting you Chauncey.
The philosophy behind Coach Brown, just playing hard, playing smart, playing together. And if you do those 3 things, you'll have fun.
And Rasheed dives, Ben.
Coach Brown encouraged everybody to go out and play the same way on both ends of the floor, and to see the guys come out on the defensive end with the same energy and intensity that they have on the offensive end. You know, it takes you back to when you first started playing basketball, when you didn't really care about who scored or how many minutes you played. The end result is about winning. I think Coach Brown put a lot of the love back into basketball.
He's a Hall of Fame coach who still gets out, and if he sees your kid out there messing around with the ball, he'll go out there and really give your kid some real hard, honest, genuine coaching. And that's, you know, that says a lot about the type of guy he is.
Hey, we talked about it, because they're going to come out with a lot of energy. San Antonio beat their ass the first 2.
1, 2, 3.
This was a game that sat with you all night than last night. And
no, I slept well. But, you know, you go to bed with a bad taste, you wake up with one.
We anticipate them playing, you know, a great game. They've bounced back every time they've had some adversity.
The Lakers now know it's going to be a fight. I didn't think they really expected it. Now they're ready for it.
An interesting thing happened on the way to Game 2. The Pistons suddenly became real.
For the Los Angeles Lakers, it is crisis night.
1, 2, 3, let's!
Come on, guys. Come on, baby. Hey, concentrate. Go. 1, 2, 3,
As Game 2 began, the Lakers looked to restore some order to the basketball world. But the notion that LA was supposed to be the superior team still didn't seem to be getting through to the Pistons.
Steal here, and here's Billups. That's another turnover for Kobe.
They could take a stranglehold in this series if they could beat LA tonight. Another jam for the big fella.
With another game starting to slip away, Phil Jackson looked beyond his veteran stars to a little-used rookie.
Gotta have a third scorer here tonight. Who will strike for the Lakers?
Luke straight away, 3-pointer. Got it.
How about this youngster from Arizona?
Let's get penetration, Luke. See what's happening off the penetration. Fan the basketball right to your triangle.
Now it's Luke. Pump fake, puts it down, attacks, gets inside, hits Shaq. A beautiful pass from Luke Walton, who's keeping the Lakers right in the thick of this.
Ignited by Walton, LA would open a double-digit lead, finally looking like the team everyone had picked to dismantle the Pistons.
The Lakers are in control of this game and played much better than they did in the first.
Look, let me explain something to you. They're supposed to beat us, all right? We ain't supposed to be here, especially the way we played the first half in the first few minutes. Hungry, all right? Right here.
The Lakers had delivered their best shot, yet the Pistons were still standing. And with a late flurry in the third quarter, Detroit would erase a 12-point deficit.
And suddenly, the Lakers are coming unglued. Malone goes down, flops Rasheed in. Ben Wallace stuffs it up over Kobe. 6 consecutive points.
And now we got ourselves in a bind. We're back in a situation where they're back in the game.
I couldn't write this up. Fourth quarter, we were down 12 in their building, the NBA champs. Come on, all right?
Come on, we do.
And we're right here. We got to just play.
Hamilton drives, Detroit leads it. And the crowd very uneasy.
With less than a minute left, Detroit seemed to have the game all but wrapped up.
That might be it, as Ben Wallace has made this a 6-point game. Closing in as an 8-point underdog again on their second straight win in Los Angeles. The Pistons are doing the unthinkable. Larry Brown says no foul, no foul. The Lakers will be searching for the outside shot. Shaq's got it back and one. Shaquille O'Neal gives the Lakers an opportunity.
Still, the Pistons would have another chance to put the game out of reach.
Coming over to the left side, down the middle he goes. The runner banks it, doesn't get it. Shaq with a rebound.
Hey, stay on the floor. Hey, they're out of timeout. Make them catch the ball out.
And everyone is paying attention to Kobe Bryant.
Kobe's the main man. 5-5, got it. Hamilton, the shot, the three, yes! Kobe Bryant drains the three. 2.1 left on the clock. We're deadlocked at 89. Unbelievable. What a depressing loss this is going to be for Detroit if they can't come back.
Devastated by Kobe's dagger, the Pistons could only watch as the rejuvenated Lakers soared past them in overtime and even the series.
Back to Walt, puts it down, drives baseline, up to Shaq on the alley-oop, who slams it down. 99-91, a magnificent win.
Oh yeah, they're disheartened right now. They got their one, but they thought they should have had 2.
You know, we came here, should have won 2 games. You know, we're crushed. I mean, shoot, we had a winnable game, and everybody's in that locker room down. You know, we just got to bounce back.
An NBA Finals that is better than we hoped for. Detroit and Los Angeles are even at a victory apiece, and the scene now shifts east to the Palace for 3 games.
Motown is Fro-Town. This ain't Hollywood, baby. This is for real.
I think that, you know, they never seen nobody like our fans before, so it's going to be fun.
Where we from? Detroit. Where we from? Detroit. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. Dogs in the house. Dogs in the house.
Granted, they're a good team, but we ain't scared of them, man. I don't know why y'all cats think we scared of the Lakers or, you know, like the Lakers are this dominant force. You know, we ain't scared of them cats, man.
How important is Game 3, where the 2 teams are tied after the first 2? Well, the winner of Game 3 has gone on to capture the NBA championship 87% of the time.
How far we go back? Red light, green light. How far we go back? Red light, green light.
At 6'9", the center, wearing the big red 3 from Virginia Union University. Ben Wallace.
Hey, play together, play hard. Come on, man. Let's go. Come on, play the game. 1, 2, 3.
Detroit, let's play some basketball.
Kobe Bryant spins to the baseline away from Tayshaun, leaning high glasser, no. Rasheed with the rebound. Forecourt lob to Rip. To the basket, no, but it's slammed up and in by Tayshaun.
Many questioned how Detroit would respond from its crushing Game 2 defeat, but the question was quickly answered. The Pistons scored the first 8 points and stole the Lakers' momentum, as Ben Wallace used his tenacity to shackle Shaquille.
The Lakers look discombobulated.
Everything's going their way. We got to start working out here now.
But, like Wallace on Shaq, Tayshaun Prince was hounding Kobe Bryant at every turn, and the hero of Game 2 would be reduced to a virtual 0 in Game 3.
Kobe Bryant was held without a field goal in 22 minutes in the first half.
While LA sputtered, Detroit kicked into high gear.
Deep right dish to Devin George, triple try, no. Off the iron to Rashid, to Chauncey, way up to Rip. He'll lay it up and in.
Motown is rocking, baby.
If we want to run, Rip, you got to get us in something. We ran drag one time, got it dumped.
And with the help of their unrelenting defense, Detroit proceeded to run LA right out of the building. In the first finals game in the Motor City in 14 years, the Pistons were hitting on all cylinders, dominating the Lakers from start to finish. And Richard Hamilton continued his breakout postseason with a game-high 31 points.
He'll turn deep right, fire, and fill it up. The Palace is rocking. The Lakers are reeling.
Rip Hamilton is outscoring Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant combined. Derek Fisher kicks it over to Walton. Knocked away by Campbell, he's open. Can the big fella lumber in? Go for it. Oh yeah, baby, rock the house. Oh, a left-handed jam by number 41. And loving it here.
Game 3 was a laugher, but to everyone's surprise, the Pistons were doing the laughing.
Lindsey hustles it back to Ben, who dishes it inside to Rip, who scores it off the square. Count that baby, and a foul. Wow.
It's going to be a record-breaking defensive performance. The Detroit Pistons hold the Los Angeles Lakers to under 70 points for the first time in NBA playoff history.
They're up 2-1 on the Lakers. They smashed them tonight.
Hey, we only got one game left. That's the way we're looking at it. Hey, together, play hard. 1, 2, 3. Play hard.
I don't know how we could defend any better. And in the second half, I don't know how we could play any better.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Palace is rocking perhaps like never before. And tonight, the Pistons could push the Lakers to the limit.
So how I stay in the moment?
Yeah.
You ain't see my commercial?
Yeah, I've seen your commercial. That's it.
That's all I think about.
It's now or never for the Los Angeles Lakers. And in the 58 years of the NBA Championship Series, no team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit, and that's what the Lakers are facing if they lose tonight.
They're going to come after us right from the beginning. We got to be as aggressive as they are.
Desperate to finally assert their dominance, the Lakers would start by unleashing the full force of Shaq.
And he jams him with one hand. He got him right under the rack. Not a bad way to begin.
Fox sets the table, got Shaq again on the pass. Backs him down, can't stop him. Up over the top.
Ben Wallace is a strong guy. And right now, Shaq's making him look almost like a kid.
Backing down on Ben. Turns, slams it over on top of him. There was no stopping O'Neal.
Hey, they're scoring too easy. We can't let that. Got to help Ben, all right?
But the Lakers were struggling to help Shaq, and the Pistons would respond to the one-man assault with a total team effort.
Forecourt to Chauncey, alley-oop to Rashid for the jam. Bryant gets it back topside, down the lane, missed the floater, rebound tapped outside of Rashid. Ahead to Chauncey, this will be a bunny, he jammed.
Relax, don't force the ball. Look for high percentage action, high percentage shot.
It was clear in this game that the Lakers were looking to ride Shaq just as far as he could take them.
Feed to Shaq, turns inside and flips it and fills it over Eldon. And we're even after 3.
We got 12 minutes to play together. Defense is great, but we ain't got anything down that end to resemble an offense. Come on, play the right way, let's go.
By now, the diesel was running low on fuel. But the Pistons had an inexhaustible source of energy, drawing strength from their belief in each other.
Inside to Fox, powers it up, blocked by Elvin Campbell. Great block, and a run out now by Rip. Rip in the lane for the hanging gun. He hit it! He hit it! Back to Rip on the wing. Guns with 3 on the clock, and he got it! Pistons by 4. Rip Hamilton with 2 huge hoops.
While Detroit was surging, LA was unraveling.
Cut by Colby, walked in the lane when he looked up and saw Van and Rashid and Tayshaun.
Oh, and now Kobe draws a technical. And the Lakers are blowing their cool.
And the Lakers want a timeout.
Look, this tempo is ours, all right? But we got to get great shots.
The Pistons had wanted Rasheed Wallace for a moment like this, and now he would seize it.
Rashid with a screen. Rip goes to Rashid. 3 on the clock. Turnaround gun over Medvedenko. He got it! He hits it! Back mid left to Rashid. Turns into a double team. Fires. Oh, glass. Filled it up. Count that, baby, and a foul. Pistons 84. The Lakers 78. Tayshaun backs in from the right side. Dishes foul line to Rashid. Up gunning. Got it! Rasheed Wallace has been sensational.
Right in the heart. Dagger in the heart. Rasheed Wallace and the Pistons are headed for a 3-1 stranglehold. And Detroit wrapping up its 3rd win.
One more, baby. Get it done, man. One more, TP. Let's get it done. One more, baby. Let's get it done. One more. One more.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the excitement of Game 5 of the NBA Finals. This crowd's going crazy. They know the Pistons have a chance to bring the Motor City a 3rd NBA crowd. They can close out the Lakers tonight.
The Lakers are the fakers. The boys in LA are nothing but a bunch of fakers. You heard it first. Pistons are taking them down.
Yes, C-Dub.
An almost unthinkable storyline has unfolded in this NBA Finals.
We got our trophy. It's good.
Check this out, man. Check this out. This game 7 for us. This game 7 for us. You know what I'm saying? This it. Get your mind right.
Oftentimes when there's an upset in the making, there's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of luck involved. Not so here. It's simple. The Pistons have just played better. In fact, the Lakers are the lucky ones. They're lucky they haven't been swept.
Let's go, baby. Let's go get it. Let's go to work. Right from jump ball. Right from jump ball. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Through 4 frustrating games, the Lakers had searched in vain for a way to break loose from Detroit's smothering defense. Now, in Game 5, with their season on the line, they still hadn't found the answer, and still hadn't slowed down the hard-charging Pistons.
Ben driving ahead of the crowd, up for the flying flush. Ben Wallace strikes again. What an incredible play.
Kobe Bryant topside, screen from Walt. Kobe left elbow, lost the handle, picked up by Rip. Rip for the drive, by himself, a throwdown, he tomahawked it.
With a cast that played their roles to perfection, the Pistons would provide their own Hollywood ending to one of the NBA's most unlikely sagas.
The Prince threw it down in the Palace. This is all Detroit right now. We spend a lot of time talking about what's wrong with the Lakers, but folks, I'm here to tell you, there's a lot right about the Detroit Pistons. They are winning this. The Lakers aren't losing it here tonight. The Pistons are digging in. They got the depth. They got the big men. They got the better basketball team. No doubt about it. On the run, yes, and one. Chauncey Billups. The Pistons have broken this one wide open.
You're a kid and you're watching the finals and the playoffs, and you sit back in your room and you got your ball with you and you flicking the ball up like you're shooting and just wishing, one day that you'll be in this position. And finally you are, finally, I did and I am. It's a dream come true for me, man.
But folks, where I play poker, a full house beats 2 aces anytime, baby. And this is a 5-man basketball team.
But Ben is there for a follow-up flush.
Big Ben Wallace slams it down for a 14-point lead.
You can't say enough for the way Larry Brown came in here from Philadelphia And he's got this team playing as one. No superstars, just a bunch of guys playing together, man.
To be able to share an NBA championship with my brother, there's nothing like it. I know it'll make my mom proud. She's still alive. But it'll make my father proud. He's not here to see it.
5 minutes left, and we're the world champs, right? Us! We're the world champs. 5 minutes. We play the right way right now.
Larry said, you know, Joe, it was 3 minutes left in the game. We were up by 25, and I was just looking at the clock thinking, now, can they score 26 points before we score 1? And he said, I'm screaming and running around. He said, I look up and all the players are just laughing at me. He said, they're just looking and laughing. He said, and at that time I realized, okay, we haven't won now.
Chauncey holds it between the circles, snaps the pass to Rip. He'll step up, baseline left, but Ben follows it up with a flush. Big Ben! It's 92-67. Ben owns the night, folks, and so do the Pistons.
I think these players represent everything good in our game. And even if we didn't win the championship, I'd feel exactly the same way. They do it right. They respect the sport. They care about young people that play our game. And I think it's the greatest testimony to teamwork and hard work. And as a result, we won a championship, and they took me along for the ride.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, it's over. It has happened. It's happened, Detroit. You believed in this team, and they have delivered a 3rd NBA World Championship to the Motor City. An incredible story written by this Piston team this year.
Stuff's moving so fast. You know, I mean, just a couple of years ago, I wasn't even in the playoffs. So to win it, wow, crazy.
What's a sweeter victory than the NBA championship?
Nothing.
Your 2004 NBA champion Detroit Pistons. Congratulations, and here's the trophy.
The feeling you have right now, nothing in the world of sports compares with a championship.
The 2004 NBA Finals MVP, #1, Chauncey Billups.
Hey, who else we got to beat?
We got to go back to retro teams and beat the 96 Bulls.
I mean, is there anything else they want us to do?
The 87 Lakers.
Is there anybody else we got to beat to prove that we're good?
Everybody out there, let me talk now. Y'all been doing y'all been talking long enough. Time for me to talk. Told you we was gonna do it. Back there.
Everybody deserves this, not just me. I wish I could cut it into 13 pieces and give it a little bit to everybody.
I'm not in this game to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not in here to get a scoring title. I'm not in here to set NBA defensive record. I came to the NBA to be in this game for moments like this, to win championships.
We shook up the world! What? We shook up the world! What? We shook up the world!
That first day was 98% of the people out there who didn't believe in us, but guess what? David conquered Goliath.
We did it, man. We did it right. We did it as a team, a hard-working group. No one gave us a chance.
How about no practice?
How about no practice tomorrow?
We ain't gonna run with it like me.
Hey, you don't want to do film or nothing?
Oh, no. None of that.
Okay, here we go, guys.
I'll tell you this, ain't no party like a Detroit party, cause a Detroit party don't stop.
Oh, it's bananas. It's good, though. You can tell it's definitely good for the city. We got all the fans out here. Everybody supporting us. You can't get no better than that. To be a part of history like this and a part of this franchise, I mean, it's incredible. I never had a dream this good, man. Unbelievable, man. I wish our palace held 1 million people so they can come to every game, man.
These players represent Detroit as well as any team has ever represented the city.
When Joe first
traded for me and got me here, man. He said, this is going to be your home. And he said, Rip, if you want to win a championship, this is the place you're going to win a championship. And I told him, you ain't never told no lie. Detroit, we back. We back. We love y'all. We're going to see y'all again next year. Y'all give yourselves a hand and a big up because y'all the greatest fans out there.
Look around, you know, care about one another, try to treat each other the right way, and it's amazing what we all can accomplish. God bless you, and go Pistons.
The Detroit Pistons, the 2004 NBA champions. I tell you what, one of the most surprising and shocking finals outcomes that we've known. But I tell you what, it's stunning now only in the thoroughness that they did it, because the better team definitely won this series. I'm joined now by NBA TV analyst Fred Carter, here to get you to the point. Fred, let's start with the MVP of this series. Chauncey Billups started strong, game one, continued going on and on and on. Definitely deserved the trophy. Talk about his play.
Well, no question about it. He deserved the trophy. Chauncey Billups did an outstanding job of running the Pistons offense. And not only did he make shots, but he kept the floor balanced. And he made big shots. Anytime the Lakers made a run, he would knock down a three or find a way to get to the basket. Now, he's a point guard, but a scoring point guard, as you heard Andre say. Now, Larry Brown, of course, was the pure point guard. So they're in light of clash between coach and player. But somewhere along the line, here comes a meeting of the minds where both guys begin to understand each other, and all of a sudden they make that title run. And Chauncey Billups is so good against the Lakers, he deserves to be MVP.
All right, Fred Carter, you mentioned the name of Larry Brown, so why don't we move along to him? And Larry Brown, the first man to ever win an NCAA championship, did that in 1988, Kansas Jayhawks, and an NBA championship. Also one of just 8 NBA coaches to take more than 2 franchises to the finals. Alex Hannum did 3, but and of course Phil Jackson 2 also. But talk about what this night meant to Larry Brown, Fred.
Well, it was a great night for Larry Brown, because why? He took a team, a good team, to win a championship. You know, people question Larry Brown because he always took bad teams and made them good. The big question was, could he take a good team to greatness? Well, he did that. He took this Pistons team to a position where they could win the NBA title. They call him the vagabond coach, whatever you want to call him. He's won the NBA title, has done a great job. His team played good defense, they played offense, they played the right way, they played unselfishly, and they shared the basketball.
Fred Carter, I'm going to repeat something I said a few moments ago because I think it bears repeating. Once again, this is one of the more surprising outcomes, and you talk about Muhammad Ali shocking the world. That's what all the Pistons are saying. Ali doing that against Sonny Liston a long time ago. But this thing now, honestly stunning only in how thorough the win was for the Pistons through 5 games.
Well, what you called it was a 5-game sweep. They had to win 5 to get 4. But I tell you what, it was shocking. Why? Because I picked L.A. to win this series. I said L.A. in 4 because the Pistons can't score. If you look at the run the Lakers made, they beat a San Antonio team after trailing down 0-2. They beat a good Minnesota team, and I thought those 2 teams were better than the Pistons team. As it turns out, the Pistons are a darn good ball club, and I talked to Rip Hamilton, and I asked him, when did you guys think you could win the title? And Rip said to me, when we got Rasheed Wallace. Ben Wallace said the same thing. When they got Rasheed, they knew they could win it all.
A couple of days ago, Larry Brown talked about the fact that if he wins a title, he might become a smarter coach, but we know in reality that isn't the case. Now, we've beaten you up a little bit for picking the sweep, but Fred, you're not the only guy in basketball with a lot of knowledge that thought the Lakers were going to sweep or win this thing in 5 or 6 ball games. So obviously the hard work of the Pistons is what led to them taking care of this.
Well, it's hard work and leadership, and that's the direction leadership by Coach Brown. He got them to believe, and to believe in themselves, to trust each other, and to work together. And when you do something like that, you're going to have outstanding results, and that's what they had. If you look at the team and the way they played consistent defense throughout the whole playoffs. I'm talking about going all the way back Milwaukee, then New Jersey, then Indiana, and then the Lakers. I'll tell you what, the Pistons did a great job, and they deserve to be champions.
The people from this area are as proud of Detroit as anything, and it's something that we've experienced and listened to for about a week here. And Fred Carter, even though I'm from Southern Cal, you know, I wasn't rooting for either team. but the noise in this arena and the crowd support for this ball club, you, as a basketball fan, you have to be blown away by the atmosphere of this arena.
Oh, no question about it. It rivals Utah and Sacramento in terms of the noise decibel. This crowd, a raucous crowd, they support their fans. I tell you what, they reminded me every time I walked up and down the floor that I picked the Lakers in 4, Pistons can't score. They rode me like I was Smarty Jones.
All right, well, you know, I don't...
World champions, Detroit Pistons.
Is that unbelievable?
But you know what, though? He said we was going to lose, though.
Mike James.
I heard him.
Mike James joining us here, folks. And again, we beaten up Fred just a little bit. And as I told him, he wasn't the only guy that picked the Lakers.
But you know, I remember this quote right here. Who said this quote right here? You see, Rasheed Wallace, he's not a 20-point player. He can give you from 10 to 15 to 18, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
He can give you 19 and a half, but you won't give you 20.
Fred, we know that, Fred. You know, we know they listen to you, Fred.
I got to respond. You know, my mother once told me, it's tough to bury the past when people walking behind him with a shovel. Away your shovel.
You know what, though? But it's all good, though, no matter who didn't believe in us or whatever. The bottom line is this. We came out, we fought. We was a great team. You know, the thing is, we're a team. And you can't take that away. We're not individuals. It's not about one player having to step up. It's just all about just us as a team and no individuals, and we came out and we played our hearts out.
I tell you what, Mike, we're going to hear from a few more of your teammates in a couple of moments, but is there any way for you to describe the feeling going through you right now? When you played big in Game 4 with a couple of big steals and coast-to-coast getting this crowd going and obviously getting the championship on this night, any way to explain what's going through your body right now?
I was kind of fast that night, too, wasn't I?
Oh, you certainly were. You were too quickly going down the lane.
I was faster I was too fast myself. I think I hurt myself in that game.
I think you were hydroplaning. You were so quick.
Yeah, I was probably yours. No, please, no. But anyway, I'm just thankful, you know, it's no words can describe how we feel right now. We deserve it. You know, we fought all year. We just been a defensive-minded team. And they say offense wins games and defense wins championships, and we proved that tonight. And we was able to score. Chauncey, Rip, they were great for us. Chauncey deserved the MVP. Chauncey and Rip, they deserve that status that, you know, all the other so-called superstars are getting. Them guys are right up there now. They put themselves up there, you know, with the higher echelon of the NBA. And so Rasheed, he's not a bad seed. You know, you can win with Rasheed. You know what I mean? And so Ben, he's not just not a defensive player. Tayshaun, we didn't need Carmelo. You know what I mean? Well, even though Carmelo's a great player, he deserves to be in Detroit, and Tayshaun deserves to be in
right where he's at.
Right where he's at. And so right now, you know what? This is a great team.
Save a bottle of champagne for me.
Man, it's gone.
It's gone. All right. Mike James, great job by you. We couldn't be prouder for you. We will see you on down the road again.
Right.
Good to be the king. Good to be the champion.
Jump shot. Keep the lines out. Come on, Mike. Let's go. Post up.
Piston basketball is a blue-collar style of basketball. It's kind of a mirror image of this community and a mirror image of Detroit, and how the people are here. We tend to get out there and work hard, and I think that's one reason why the fans have been so supportive of this team, because they can actually look out there and see themselves on the floor. They can see the type of basketball that they would like to play.
Detroit is a city where they work hard and also they play hard. And Detroit Pistons kind of represent what Detroit is all about.
Then if it's a missed shot, you're going to run through. If it's a made shot, something play out of box, all right? Blue ball.
Detroit is a blue-collar city. I mean, it's so blue-collar, even our white-collar people have that blue-collar ethic.
When they bring their hard hats and their lunch pails, they win ball games.
Good move, Chauncey. I had the opportunity to start with this team as an intern assistant trainer in the fall of 1974. The following May, I was asked to be the head trainer. So since 1975, I've had the opportunity to say that I've been affiliated with this organization. And talk about family, this has been my extended family for the better part of my adult life.
Billy! Bill! That should be a reset! That's a reset!
This team is so unique, it's attempting to take on its own personality.
See what Ben Wallace did to pop culture and to the youth of America today? You look around and see a whole bunch of kids wearing afros like this, man. That's a shame. Come on, man.
Actually, Ben Wallace is proud to be a positive example.
He's gone from anonymous to all-star through sheer effort and is doing everything in his power to make the Pistons a title contender.
I think the most satisfying thing to me is to hear a guy say, you know, you should be more like a Ben Wallace type or something like that. You know, I think is let guys know if they're just coming in willing to work hard, that, you know, good things come to those guys who just work hard.
Rookie Darko Milicic has a lot of hard work ahead of him. The second overall pick in the draft, he represents Detroit's future, but for the present, he remains on the sidelines.
I come here to play, you know, and I thought I gonna play, but a situation like this is, I have to be patient, you know, waiting for my chance.
Come on, man. You follow Chauncey, man. See how happy and chipper he is?
That happiness has come only after a long road through several NBA cities. Chauncey Billups saw Detroit as an opportunity for a new beginning.
I've been on enough bad teams, so I knew they had been to the playoffs. They was going back. They had Ben Wallace, the defensive player of the year, and just you know what I mean, a great nucleus of guys, good guys, man. You know, Joe Dumars. I think when I kind of sat with him and got to know him a little bit, that's really what put it over the top. You know what I mean? Because he's a guy that, you know what I mean, I always idolized from afar for so many years growing up.
For years and years, the Pistons have been identified by tough, kind of a little rough around the edges type of guy who gets it done. You know, during our best days here, that's how we played and that's how we won championships, and we're getting close back to that now, where we play a real physical, tough style of basketball.
We gotta get control, right? They're not gonna quit.
Let's go, baby. Let's knock them out now.
The only thing I'm concerned about is that we're getting better. We're getting an understanding of what it takes to win. And usually that's unselfish play, defensive rebounding, and playing hard, and this team's doing that.
1, 2, 3,
For years and years, Pistons have been identified by tough. You know, we've never played a pretty fancy West Coast style of basketball, and you know, during our best days here, that's how we played and that's how we won.
And an offensive foul called.
When you see winning basketball in Detroit, you know, everybody compares that to the first 2 championships.
Look at the block by Rodman. Holy back. Blocked it. To Dumars, to Isaiah. It's up and it's in.
It was awesome. We had 3 terrific rivalries. Number 1 with the Boston Celtics. We had to get somehow by the Boston Celtics to get to the NBA Finals.
What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass.
You know, that was a tough hill to climb. Those guys were smart, they were tough, they were winners, and they did not take kindly to losing. And we learned a lot from those guys. They always seemed to walk with an air of confidence. And so when you're a young team and you're battling those teams, you're watching that and you're learning from that. And when you take your steps, you start emulating some of that. You start walking with that confidence that you saw them walk with.
Once past Boston, the Pistons eventually pounded another rival, the Showtime Lakers, leading to Detroit's first title.
And here's the ball to Dumars at the mouth of the key, 21 feet out. He shoots it over Worthy. High arc shot is good. Oh! Yeah! And we congratulate the Detroit Pistons, the NBA champions of the year 1989.
During their 2-year reign, the Pistons seemed to enjoy making it rough on all pretenders to their NBA crown.
The Chicago Bulls were trying to get there, and they couldn't even get by us at that point.
Offensive foul as Rodman in position.
We didn't mind being villainized. I mean, if you want to be called a villain, we can be the bad guys. The boos, I'm flipping them over and say they're really cheering for me, just in a special way.
The image that the guys had was probably deserved in terms of their toughness and the way they bang people around, but don't ever forget how smart they were and how competitive they were. So I think Joe's trying to put together that kind of a team right now.
They're trying to come together. Yeah, they're trying to come together.
We're a nose to the grindstone kind of club, and you better be willing to lay it out there on the floor. And Joe Dumars came in. He said, this is the kind of guy I'm looking for. You couldn't have a better person than Joe, who sort of embodies all of those things, to sort of be the point person in your organization.
Heck, the guy was the NBA Finals MVP in 1989, first time they won the title. So he knows what winning's all about. He knows how to put together the kind of a team that will win.
Hey, Mike James, you see shot go up.
The appetite to win is as strong today as it's ever been. Because as a player, you're strictly worried about you and only you and what you have to do on the floor that night.
You've been tagged, that's all. I can't do nothing right for being wrong, man.
Sitting in this chair now, you're concerned with everybody, and every issue that comes up kind of falls right here on this desk. Trust me, the will to win is probably greater now than it was when I played. If you make a big name trade, the average person will say, oh, wow, great, that's going to be a great move. And I think the people in this business know that that's not always the case. If it doesn't fit on the court, it's not going to work.
Yo, man, let's go. 1, 2, 3, play on. Let's roll.
I guess that's why I'm sitting here and do this business, and the people that question it don't. Because if I could be very blunt, you know, I know the industry and they don't. And I'm not trying to sound brash or anything. It's just that I've been out there on that court and played for a lot of years. And so I'm not caught up into the hype. I'm looking for players.
Here comes Hamilton. To the street.
The guys all know, don't bring anything less than your best. I think it has to be that way. I think you have to be able to look at your players and tell them, look, we can have a great time here. But if you give me anything less than your best, you know, it's going to be a short stay for you here.
We look at guys on our team come and we go to work every single night. Like we grind it out. You know what I mean? We grind it out. We grind it.
Way to go to the floor. Come out. Jump ball. Get a jump ball. Jump ball.
For every hustle play on the court, there are hours of work behind the scenes building toughness and getting in shape.
We don't really call it a weight program, but I like to call it more of a performance program. There's certain things they do to prepare for practice. There's certain things they do to prepare for a game. And finding what that is per player. You know, it's all relative. I mean, here's Ben Wallace right now. I mean, our leader. Obviously, if you look at his body, you can see this man does a lot of preparation. He does all the things to get himself ready. He's one of the first guys in the gym. He's one of the last guys to leave, and that's why he's Ben Wallace. I mean, this man is unbelievable.
Yeah, I always work out hard. Y'all ain't see it? Yeah. Y'all missed it. Because I'll be hiding from you. I don't want the cameras in there. I don't want the secret to get out. That's all. Can't put the secret out there.
I think why he resonates so much here in Detroit is because he epitomizes blue-collar, tough-in-your-face type of mentality. So I think that's why he's gone over so big here in Detroit.
Detroit known for his hard work, and you know, and everybody that comes here, you know, just seems to fall into that little mold, and you know, just go out and just work for it, and you know, in a strange kind of way, this team do reflect his personality.
As the 10th of 11 children raised in rural Alabama, Ben didn't have much except the love of a family that taught him the value of hard work.
You know, when I was young growing up, it was just a tough situation, realizing that, you know, my family was poor. My mom being so strong, you know, she always encouraged us to appreciate the things that we got, you know, and continue to work hard for the things that we want.
Ben has beat adversity so many times. This is an undrafted guy, you know, that played the same organization with me in Washington, played a couple years, then went to Orlando, then came here. And at 6'7", 6'8", man, he does unbelievable stuff.
Murray to the lane, jump stop, scoop, blocked by Ben, out of bounds.
There's a lot of players in our league that have used adversity to their advantage, and Ben's at the top of that list. And as good as he is, he's working to improve. He's not satisfied with just being an all-star.
1, 2, 3.
You know, we got a program around here we call the Ninja Program. It's a workout you gotta go through every day. You gotta earn your stripes. Come to the Ninja.
Are you the one that has to check in with you and make sure they earn those stripes?
Definitely master.
Soon after joining the Pistons front office, Joe Dumars was faced with the departure of superstar Grant Hill. Dumars had always kept his eye on Ben Wallace, and he arranged a deal with Orlando.
Grant decided to leave. It was just a matter of trying to get something in return. And so immediately I started working on trying to do a sign and trade with those guys to get Ben Wallace in here. I thought Ben's going to be a really good player for us. Grant's going to be a really great player for Orlando, and it's going to be a win-win trade situation. But, you know, unfortunately for Grant Hill, things haven't worked out for him in Orlando. For us, on the flip side, Ben Wallace just kind of blew up here. To say it worked out for us is an understatement. It was a huge move for us.
In today's NBA, there are doubts about any team from the East winning it all. But Wallace doesn't concern himself much with what other people think.
You know, me personally, I don't care about respect. You know, I think respect is overrated. You know your opponent, you study your opponent. I'm coming out, I want to beat you. So it can't be a whole lot of respect in that. So I don't care what people say about this team. You know, I know at the end of the day, we're going to be right there amongst the best in the league. So whether they respect it or not.
Guys, we gotta get control, all right? They're not gonna quit.
I'm gonna tell you something about Coach, man. Coach can be a bit much sometimes.
Might not work long, but we're gonna work hard, buddy. LB gonna make sure of that.
Even the lights out. Come on, Igor.
He wants us to react like he would react. And he's gonna let us know when we don't. Once we see that it works, then you can't argue.
An Olympic gold medalist and an ABA All-Star at point guard, Larry Brown knows the right way to play. He considers himself more of a teacher than a coach, and he strives for perfection.
You don't have to cross underneath. Just get out. Okay.
Winning and losing matters to him, but it doesn't matter as much as playing the right way. If we don't play the right way and we win, I mean, he feels just as sick as us losing.
The pressure to win is never something I think about. If you prepare and do the right things, the wins will take care of itself.
Memo, you be at the top, and we'll just space out and hit and go back door. All right?
My pressure always is to make sure that you give players a chance to play as well as they're capable of playing, and hopefully have your team play the right way and play up to their potential.
You know, that's why you'll constantly see him telling Chauncey, you know, Chauncey, I can tell you 25 things that you did wrong, and he's constantly challenging him, and I think it's bringing the best out of Chauncey. Keep challenging him, Coach.
Physically, I mean, if you're in shape, take care of your body with him. I mean, you can always get better. I mean, he's made me better this year. I could like feel myself getting better. The things he has me working on, and the rest of the guys as well.
He knows that the point guards are the leaders of the team, and so he wants us to think like leaders. So I got to pull up his stats. So I got to see what type of point he was in the league, man, because you know, if he wants us to think like him, I got to make sure that he was doing the right things on the court when he was in the game.
Check the book, Mike. Brown holds the ABA record with 23 assists in a game, but he has other things in common with his players. Like many of the Pistons, he's moved around the league looking for the perfect fit.
A lot of us know what on this team, know what it feels like to be traded, knows how to play in different situations. On certain teams, you have individual egos and things like that. But, you know, we put all that to the side. 1, 2, 3, we all come together for one purpose, and that's to win a championship.
The Pistons are hoping the final piece in their championship puzzle is the addition of Rasheed Wallace, a polished player with a rocky past. He's made an immediate impact on the team.
You know, I'm in a situation now where I got a chance to contend for a title, and that was my main thing. So, you know, I'm definitely having fun out there. It's a great group of guys here, veteran guys, and just all playing together.
What's up? You all right? Yep. I'm here to get some shots.
I think Rasheed was just what the doctor ordered for us. I think his play on the floor, his personality off the floor, I think him as a teammate in the locker room. He came in and brought life in here.
They got Rick listed, what, 6'7"?
He brought a certain edge to him. He's been a great acquisition for us.
Guys, so many different aspects of this series to talk about. And Fred, let's start with you. You know, the Lakers having been here so many times, it seems like the last 4 years or so. Phil Jackson, of course, all the postseason experience, 9 championships for him. Do the Lakers own the mental advantage in this series? Is there any question about that?
Well, no, I think they do. After all, if you look at the experience that they've had over those last 3 years, including this year, and then you add Karl Malone and Gary Payton to the mix, and these two guys themselves have been into the finals, and as Frank said to me, and Jordan eliminated both of them, but at least they've been there, so they know what it's all about. And keep in mind, the Lakers, it's amazing. The 3 years that they've won the title, they've had home court advantage. This is the 4th year they have home court advantage.
Guys, what about you?
No, Fred's absolutely right about that. But the other thing is the mental advantage is Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Those are the 2 best players in the series. And for Larry Brown, he has to go into the series thinking, how am I going to stop one of these guys, much less both of them? That's the mental edge they have in every series.
Yeah, and I agree with kind of both of you on that one, because when you think about it, I mean, you got Kobe and Shaq, arguably 2 of the top 5 players, maybe the top 4 players in the league. And you look back at past history, and, you look at the Jordan and the Pippen type teams. Teams with 2 of the best players in the league are going to be there, and they're going to make some noise, and they're going to be a tough out.
Now, due to a quirk in the schedule, these 2 teams haven't played each other since mid-November. They played both of their head-to-head meetings back in November the 14th and then the 18th, just 4 days apart. So there is an unfamiliarity. Certainly, from the Lakers' point of view, they haven't seen the Pistons for a long time. You bring in Rasheed Wallace now to the mix, so that unfamiliarity is going to make this very interesting.
Well, you're right, and I'll tell you why. It's going to make it interesting in so many ways. Why? Because when they played back in November, the Lakers were not healthy. I think Kobe Bryant may have missed one of those games. So all of a sudden, now, these 2 teams don't know each other, only from what they've seen on television, but they know about themselves, and they know about the philosophies and the coaches, so they'll go on that knowledge, and believe me, Detroit is coming to play some good basketball.
Plus, both of those teams really didn't go through the wars yet. They were both really new teams. The Lakers were adding Malone and Payton, and obviously the Pistons had a whole new coaching staff, so really they hadn't developed themselves as teams as they are right now.
Yeah, and that's why I'll just go back to the Shaq-Kobe factor. I think more so because of those 2 guys having the glue, the consistency for this Laker team, give them a huge advantage going into this.
And it seems like, guys, of course, a lot has been made about the scheduling and the playoffs, the separation between games. Now it's going to be every other day almost, so there's going to be more of a rapid pace, and these guys are going to be very, a lot more comfortable in this series.
Well, no question about it. As players, one thing you'll find out that when you play that way and you play every other day, you stay into a rhythm. There's a continuity in terms of what you're doing, in terms of you get up in the morning, you're going to practice, next day is the ball game. So you stay in that continuity, and it's better that way. You hate the 3 and 4 day break because it becomes tough to get yourself back up again.
Yeah, it does, Fred. And I think the other flip side of that, though, if you're the losing team, and hypothetically if the Pistons have trouble in the first couple of games here, they need a little bit more time, and Larry Brown will need a little bit more time to make adjustments and to make those changes. So if they have those rapid games coming at them, it gives the winning team the advantage again because they get that rhythm, in my mind.
I was at the Western Conference Finals, and I think Shaquille O'Neal did start to wear down a little bit. They were playing every other day. Now, remember, they're going to play 3 games in 5 days, and the 3rd game will be a travel game as well. They'll be in Detroit. That's why it's so important for Detroit to try to get one of these games, because at Game 3, I think they'll have a pretty big advantage. If they don't win one of the first 2 games in L.A., it's going to be very difficult for them to make this a long series.
Well, it's funny because I look at it, they'd better win Game 3. If they don't win Game 3, the series is going to be over because the Lakers then will definitely go for the jugular. So they've got to – I don't think they're going to give them 1 and 2. I think that belongs to the Lakers. Game 3, Detroit has to win, and I still don't know how.
Guys, the Shaquille O'Neal factor certainly at the forefront of the game plan if you're Larry Brown and the Pistons. How do you go about trying to slow him down? It seems like every series we've talked about the same things here. Larry Brown, of course, has been in this spot with the Sixers back in 2000 at the finals. That year had a guy by the name of Dikembe Mutombo, a big body to throw at him. Now you've got Ben Wallace, a host of different big men to throw at him. Does the rotation become longer? Now you bring in an Eldon Campbell, a veteran off the bench who you could throw 6 more fouls out there. But what do you think, guys, about the rotation, how Larry's going to approach this?
Well, I think one thing for sure what Larry's going to do is they're going to keep Shaquille O'Neal in screen and roll. Because as long as he's out there, now what you've done 2 things. You've taken him away from the basket, so now he's not defending the paint. We block shots, and it really intimidates everyone down in the paint area. Secondly, you have enough guys now to guard him to get fouls, and that's important because Shaq is not making free throws. But also, if you make him put him out on the floor in the screen and roll, it's going to help their shooters a great deal because knowing Jimmy, as they come off the screens, they're going to get jump shots.
Right, and your point is well taken too, Fred, with the big guys. Run the 4 guys at him. You may, in fact, see Bill Laimbeer get some time in this one, right? He's going to be in the building sooner or later. So they'll be throwing everybody they can at Shaq to slow him down. The other part of it is I would not be surprised to see the Pistons play some zone or a lot of zone, throw a guy behind him and just kind of collapse the other side of the floor, make them kick it out, and don't have Kobe and Shaq beat you. Make somebody else a superstar. Make Peyton beat you with 25 points if he can score it. I don't think he can.
Guys, compare and contrast the benches for both of these sides. With the Pistons, you know that they go deep. You know Larry likes to use a lot of those guys off the bench. We've seen Mehmet Okur and other players really have their moments during these playoffs. But how do you break down the benches and the reserve cores for both of these teams?
I think that's important for the Pistons, Spiro. I think that when you look at the Lakers and you look at them statistically through the playoffs, their bench is getting about 15 points a game. I know Kareem Rush has a big game every so often. But I just think Larry will come back with the Pistons, their depth, to try to get as many guys on the floor as possible. I think they were going to try to wear Shaquille down as much as they possibly can, in terms of, on offense when he's catching the ball, foul him, make him do some things from that standpoint. And the other part of it, though, I really think is that if they can steal a fast break once in a while, even though the Pistons don't like to do it, right? Run somebody down the floor, get Ben Wallace going down the floor as quickly as they can, because I think the Pistons are going to keep this thing low. I don't think they're going to allow the Lakers to go to 100+ in this series.
Well, they've got to keep it low. They got to keep the game somewhere around 70, 75 points, so that way the last 3-4 minutes they're in the ball game. Larry talked about the depth of his team, but I think on the offensive end, I think his team does not have the depth. You've got to give that advantage to the Lakers, because when you get games in which a Fisher can win a game for you, Devin George is going to have one big game, Kareem Rush is going to have one, and I didn't mention Peyton Malone, and we just ignore Kobe and Shaq because we know what they're going to do.
Well, also, a very underrated player for Detroit coming off the bench is Corliss Williamson. Yep. If they can get him to match up against the Lakers small forward, whether or not that's George or Rick Fox, he can really dominate that guy in the post. That's why it's so important for the Rasheed Wallace-Okur matchup. This way you put Williamson on a much smaller defender.
We've talked about the players, all the matchups, but the two head coaches, obviously two guys headed for the Hall of Fame. Larry already in the Hall, Phil Jackson, 9 championships. How cool is this going to be, just the chess match between Phil and Larry?
Yeah, really, you're talking about two of the best coaches in the league. And throughout this series, listen to those press conferences, because these two guys will go after each other a lot like they did when Philadelphia played the Lakers. And for Phil Jackson, he's already talked about maybe this will be it if he wins another championship. And for Larry Brown, he has a chance to win a championship and then this summer win a gold medal. That's a pretty nice combination over a 3-month period.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting, Spiro, at the end of the basketball games, if in fact they keep these things close. And if they're close going down the stretch, I got to kind of tilt to Larry Brown, I think. I know Phil has all the championships, but he's had these players, and if Shaq and Kobe are there and playing hard enough to win the games, then that'll happen for them. But I think Larry Brown will have a couple of things up his sleeve. He's not afraid to make changes. If things aren't working, he'll make changes again. So I just think in a close basketball game, he'll have these guys ready. Maybe not in the first game, but as the series progresses, if they can keep these games close, I think I give him a little bit of the edge.
The edge of making adjustments. But, when you talk about Phil Jackson, so many people have taken shots at Phil, saying that he's fortunate to have a Michael Jordan, Pippen, and a Shaq and Kobe. But what people don't realize on the flip side is it's easier to get a team to overachieve than it is to get a great team to achieve. And what Phil has been able to do is to get that team to play at the level that it should have been playing all year long. He's done that for so long, and a lot of coaches have tried and failed. Phil's a great coach. Most people don't realize that.
And watch them play. So much is talked about the triangle offense. The Lakers are really starting to adjust to more of a post-up team. They started to post up Gary Payton more. They're posting up Shaq more. The triangle, they'll use it, not as much as they used to.
Screen roll also. Phil is coaching in the new millennium.
Guys, Joe Dumars talked about his team getting over those jitters in the first half of Game 1. They're going to step on the floor out in Los Angeles. There's going to be a buzz in that arena that most of these guys haven't been a part of in an NBA Finals. What about the aura that these Pistons are dealing with? We're going to look at all the success that the Lakers have had. Of course, the storied franchise in the NBA, so many years in the championships. And just take a look at this graphic. Just amazing numbers. 14 NBA titles, 27 NBA Finals. Of course, you go back to Minneapolis and the success they've had here in the 2000, this new century. Guys, what about Detroit? All these things to deal with.
It's amazing because the Yankees, the Lakers are like the Yankees in terms of you love them or you hate them. They're like the Dark Empire, but they do nothing but win championships.
Yeah, they do. And obviously going in, I think the Pistons are going to be concerned about that whole thing. But I think Joe's point is a pretty good point. I say, once the game begins, Fred, and the excitement, they may not sleep well. They'll be nervous before the game. But anytime you're playing in a big game, that first couple of minutes, once you get that out there and something happens, good, bad, or indifferent, at least you're into the flow of the game. Now, the home floor, I think the big edge that home teams have is that energy level in the fans always brings the home team up. So the visitors have to constantly fight against the fact that they're on the road and they don't have as much lift as the home team.
It helps if you score early in the game like that. If you don't score early, you struggle. Somebody missed 2 free throws, your confidence goes down.
Yeah. Here's a baseball analogy for you. Closer. The Lakers have closers. Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. That's why they're going to win.
And Lakers, of course, continue to be, of course, one of the most popular teams, if not the most popular. And we should point out here one little tidbit of information. The Lakers-Timberwolves Game 6 on TNT, the most viewed NBA playoff game, guys, in cable history. So that tells you a little bit about the viewership and where the numbers are. Guys, time to be on the hot seat now. Predictions, who wins how many games?
Lakers in 4, Pistons can't score.
In 4?
In 4.
Sweep.
That's
cruel. Yeah. Jim?
Blame it on Shaq.
I'm going to give the Pistons 2 games on the win side. I'll go with the Lakers, though, in 6.
I'm going to go. I agree with Jim. I think they could win 2 games in the series. If they have any chance of winning the series, they have to win one of those games in L.A. because you know the Lakers are winning at least one in Detroit.
And if they don't win Game 3, it's over, right?
Absolutely.
Fred, you just don't see them in any instance scoring
I don't see the Pistons having the offensive firepower to score. Rasheed Wallace never averaged 20 points in his career. I think they'll do a great job of shutting down Rip Hamilton. Who else is going to score from them? Ben Wallace is not an offensive player. Joe talked about Mehmet Okur possibly coming off the bench, who's pretty good offensively. Tayshaun Prince is an opportunity scorer, not a go-to scorer. Where Lakers have so many shooters and so many players that can make baskets, I don't see Detroit just hanging on a ball game and getting a W.
You know, Fred, when I hear you say that, I agree with you in total in terms of, stacking up player by player. And I agree with you on that. But the defensive effort that the Pistons have, and I think they're going to turn their offense into a defensive machine almost.
Okay.
I think they're just going to take the time off the clock, and I think it's going to be about field goal attempts in this particular series. And I think if they can control the defensive boards and not allow the Lakers to get extra shots, because the Lakers are going to have to work to get their shots, and I think the frustration might build on the Lakers from time to time. If the Pistons can slow this thing down at the offensive end, not allow them to go into they're not the Magic Showtime.
Right.
They want to go Showtime in L.A. a little bit. They want the dunks. They want Kobe to get the flair going. If they can compress that a little bit, maybe some frustration starts to build, especially in Auburn Hills.
But you know what? This team, the one thing, Fred, this team does not have the killer instinct. This Laker team at one point lost 9 straight road games. On the road, not great. They lost the first 2 games in San Antonio, lost Game 2 in Minnesota where they did not play well, lost Game 5 in Minnesota when they had a chance to close out the series, get more rest. That's why they're not going to win 2 games. That's why they're not going to sweep
And
this
you're right.
series.
There is a malaise that sets in that team where they come out and maybe a little lethargic. But you're looking at the number 1 offensive team in the playoffs versus the number 13 team offensively in the playoffs. I'm talking field goal percentage, and therein lies the difference. The Lakers will find ways to score. I don't think Detroit can manufacture enough baskets.
All right, so 3 experts here with us in the studio, and all 3 experts going with the Lakers. Let's recap here. We're going to hold all these gentlemen to their picks. Jim Spanarkel going Lakers in 6, Frank also in 6 games, and Fred Carter just absolutely cruel saying that the Lakers are going to sweep this series after all that hard work that Larry Brown and his coaching staff have put in here. Guys, final thoughts. I'm not sure who your predictions were at the start of the season. A lot of people felt that the Lakers would end up here after that windy and twisty road. But what about Detroit? Did you expect them to get to this point, Fred?
I expected Detroit to get here after they got Rasheed Wallace. Prior to that, we're looking at Indiana Pacers the whole way. Once Rasheed Wallace, I jumped off of Indiana's bandwagon because you know I'm capable of doing that. I've had so many cortisone shots that I'm healthy and healed, but then I jumped on Detroit's bandwagon. But I've been on the Lakers bandwagon all year long.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, Freddie, I looked at the tape of the first show I did way back, 6-7 months ago. I had the Lakers over the Pistons in 6, so I was pretty consistent the whole season long.
Hey, one of the most,
you know the Pistons are going to win in 4 after the 3 of us picked the Lakers.
Hey, one of the most misleading records is the Lakers' record. Karl Malone played in 42 games this year. They were 33-9 with Karl Malone.
Scary.
They would have had a great record if he'd been healthy the entire season.
It's been a fun season, and of course the fun continues. Game 1, and you can be sure to tune in to ABC on Sunday for exclusive coverage. Game 1 of the 2004 NBA Finals. The Detroit Pistons and the Los Angeles Lakers. Coverage on ABC begins with the pregame show beginning at 8:30 Eastern.